Hey guys, today I want to talk about pig shelters, pig pens, hot wire, things like that you might need. Now, I'm not a professional. I've learned a lot in the last 2 years of doing this. I think it's been a little over 2 years now. You don't need a lot of money to build your shelters, but the fencing is kind of up there. Let's get into the video. Start with my big shelter. You don't need this. It's overbuilt. It's bigger than it needs to be, but I wanted a lot of room so I don't hit my head and I can get in there. I can change things. But this is my big shelter. It cost me a little bit of money, and the price for lumber was still pretty high. I went and got as much used material as possible. Not a lot of people carry used plywood, and I got the cheapest stuff, and I got pretty expensive paint so I could seal it, but it definitely needs another coat. These first two pens are 7 by 12 inside, 7 by 12. And she's got plenty of room in here to move around. She is a little over 5 feet long, but she's got everything she needs in here. This back portion, when you are building a farrowing pen, you need somewhere for the babies to go to get out of the way of mom, so mom has less likely chance of squishing them. And it doesn't always work. Sometimes they still get squished, but you can see how she's pushed all the hay up underneath there. This is supposed to be where the babies can go to get away from her. And this was my problem when she farrowed the first time. She pushed it all in there, and then the babies were out here, and she was able to squish 1 or 2 of them by laying on them because she flops down like a lazy pig. But all you really need is a corner that she can't get into, and the babies will be safe. So basically I was going to do a diagonal in the corners, and then up top this is diagonal. It was gonna be the same down below, and then I'll put a little board up so she couldn't get in there. Then I hang the heater that I have over there from this, and she can't get to the heater. She can't knock it down. She can't burn herself or anything like that. It'll be back behind there, all safe and out of the way. This roof that I got was free. It's all metal roof. All the roof links together. All the panels, they're all individual pieces. You can go back to the video of me building it and see how the roof goes together. They're feeding outside. And this pen I wanted as my breeding hut, so I'd have the boar and a sow in here. That's why it's much bigger. I was going to use this one as a farrowing hut and that one as a farrowing hut, and then I was going to have the breeders in this big one. I think it's a 10 by 12, plenty big for 2 full-grown pigs. But in here, this litter with Phoebe, hi guys, I wasn't able to get my corner set up so the piglets can get out of the way. She did, however, lay on one piglet. What are you doing, you little turds? I did put this heater up. I got this piece of 2x6 up on top, screwed in, secure. Then I have the heat lamp. Now again, this is an infrared heat lamp. It's not an open coil, open element, or a light bulb. Sealed in a tube inside there, so it's less likely to spark something. But this section should have been closed off, and the piglets could be back behind it, of course you can't squish them. And the piglets will lay where the heat is, where the warmth is. So if mom's the only heat, they're gonna lay next to her, and if mom rolls over, she can squish them, especially in the first few days of being born. So that's why you want to section off a safe place for piglets. And they love my boots. They're chewing on them non-stop. Some of them are okay with me scratching them, but yeah, this one was meant for 2 full-size pigs, not farrowing babies in. But the entire thing is 25 feet long and 10 feet or 12 feet deep, with a gutter system on it. Eventually I'm going to plumb that and be able to feed the water barrels that are inside with the rain. We don't get a lot of rain, but we do get some. Take you up to my first shelter that I built. Which is the boys' pen. It is a muddy mess out here. Oh, I think the boys are in there. Yeah, they sure are. Hi, boys. This was my very first pen. I went very cheap with it. Hi, Shrek. Hi, guys. This was built for goats, I believe. I paid $100 for that, and I didn't really need it, but that was the most expensive part of this shelter. And it came, the front and back were, I believe, front and back were closed off. These sides, they were open. You can see where I cut these old fence boards. I made them fit on there. This was open, and it was like chicken wire. So I sealed it all off, and they don't even use it, but they can if they need to. And then I got a bunch of free pallets. I just went to town screwing them together. Put 2 pallets up on top. You can see they push this side out, separating the top 2 pallets, and they were all hanging down and scratching themselves on it. So I had to reinforce that up there. But if you own pigs, you'll learn very quickly that if they can destroy it, it will get destroyed. Also, another expensive part of this shelter is this canvas tarp that I thought would last a long time, and they do not. You can either keep building with free pallets or old fence boards or old fence panels, whatever you can get your hands on that's free. I get everything from Marketplace and Craigslist. Free is better when it comes to pigs because, again, they will destroy it. But this pen was built to train them 2-wire electric fence. And then I have this field fence back behind it. That is so I can train them on the wire. Now pigs, most of the time when they get startled, they will run forward. So if they get shocked by that, they would naturally want to run through it and get to the other side. Well, having a backing on it is very important for training on the electric fence. So you want to train for at least a couple weeks to get them used to the fence. They know what it's about. They will start to respect the fence and not touch it. But that's what this pen was built for, training basically on the electric fence. And I don't have any that I need to train right now. And the boys are in there. Let's go over to my second one. This one originally was built for my boars, to have the boys out here. And again, it's all used material, free or very cheap material. These tarps, let's start with the tarp. These tarps are about $30–40 depending on the size. I believe it's 8 or 10 mil, and they will outlast canvas, as you can see. I just got stretched up to the fences. Also another backing with the field fence to train on the hot wire. This is all the same stuff. Cheap or free pallets, and they've started knocking this one down too. I got this from Rob, my neighbor, for free, and they will fit in there for a certain amount of time, and then eventually they won't go inside there. But it's all recycled wood, pallets, whatever you can get your hands on, and then you gotta buy the screws and slap it together. Oh my goodness. They just won't stop. Oh, scratch me, give me attention. There are so many different shapes of pig huts, shelters, pens, whatever you want to call them. This one, I just made a A-frame out of, and they rubbed their backs all over it, and it ended up falling down. But this spring I'll rebuild some shade shelters out here for them. We talk about the fence. 2-wire is what I started with. See it? And that's after you train them in an area with the wire, they will know, they will learn what it is, and they will not touch it as long as it's got enough shock behind it. They will learn not to touch it. And that's honestly, that's all you need is 2-wire. Some people do 1, some people do 3 or 4, but all I've ever used was 2-wire, and I never used this net until last year, and is just super simple to put up, and it was cheap enough that you can get a lot of it. 165 feet for $130. And it's very simple to put up, very simple to connect, and I like it for these guys, the teenagers is what I call them. I didn't originally get it for them, but I had it, I got some extra ones, so I just put them up. Plus I don't want babies going under the fences and then having my dogs find them. The other pigs, they will not. As far as the babies, they will not harm them. These guys, on the other hand, they will bully them. But that's why I put the net up. The net, it could be fatal for pigs with ear tags, like her ear tag. Now the bigger pigs, they know better than to touch it, but the little ones, I lost 2 of these guys when they were, I want to say 2 months old, 3 months old, to this net. They get up to this net because they don't know no better, And their ear tags, when they're smaller, sticks out and it will get stuck in this net. And they'll be getting shocked, so they'll freak out, and then they'll twist up in it, and the net just locks them into place, and then it just electrocutes them to death. And if you're not out with your pigs every minute of every day, it can be easy to lose them with the net. This stuff, not so much. There's different kinds of hot wire that you can get. There's this, I think they call it poly wire, and it's a nylon or something wrapped up with one or two small strands of wire in it. It's supposed to be yellow and bright and visible, but after 2 years of using it, you can see it's very dull. And I ain't touching it because it'll hurt. I do have aluminum wire out here, which is much less sensitive to being grounded out by weeds, though it does ground out. Look. Crazy's following me as usual. But the aluminum wire or the solid wire is much less sensitive to being ground out by wet grass. You can see there's all kinds of grass growing up around it. But all this out here is aluminum, all tied in, and it's just a big loop all the way out. What are you doing, crazy boy? But to power all this, I'll take you to where I have the box. Alright, I'm out in my shop, which is probably 50-60 yards away from the pigs. This is the box that I have for them. 2 joule, 50 mile, AC powered, and does a pretty good job. 2 joules is plenty. I've been hit by it. I hate getting hit by it. I don't want to get hit by it ever again. So even all the way out to where the pigs are, it is very strong if you're grounded and you touch the wire. I have the ground and the positive wires. This is insulated wire, not cheap. I can put the box and the wire links in the description, but I have them both running out of the wall, 2 different conduits, so they're not next to each other, and then ran outside. Right here. They're run along the ground, kinda. I did have these buried, but and then the ground goes to a ground rod, and I go 5-foot copper rods. And for most fence units, they say you need at least 3 ground rods. I only use 1. But you want 3 ground rods 10 feet apart, connected to each other. And then I have the positive wire running out here. And this kind of ran out of wire, but run to this wire that's on insulators on the T-posts. And that is ran on the top of all these posts all the way out to the pigs. And even with all these long stretches of wire, it still has a lot of power. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and ask. No question is a dumb question. If I left anything out, go ahead and call me out on it. I'm okay with that. If you like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't yet. It's free. I'd really appreciate it. It helps the channel grow. I appreciate y'all for watching. Till the next one, have a good one.